Hello, my name is Kate Marshall. The name of my channel is called Inked Paper Art, and today I'm going to show you a bunch of different hacks for making junk journal ephemera out of tape. I know we all have tape laying around our house somewhere. We all have paper, so let's combine the two and make beautiful ephemera. So what am I using specifically? I'm going to be using packing tape and regular household tape. I have my tapes in a dispenser. This is the wide packing tape, any type of packing tape. It's like about 1.8 inches wide or something like that. And this is the Scotch transparent tape that I also used in the first video of the 365 series, which was making faux aged tape. So if you pick up this product, it works for faux aged tape and it works for today's project. However, most of us probably have a different kind of tape. Most of us probably have a tape that looks like this. This is regular Scotch transparent tape. It's like tear free, or I don't know what it is, but it's anyway Scotch tape. It's the basic kind that like we use to wrap Christmas presents with, etc. If you have this, it will still work. I'm going to use all the different tapes to show you how they work because they do work differently. And then there also is double-sided tape. If you're a scrapbooker, you probably have double-sided tape or double-sided adhesive somewhere, something like that. You can try that. We will make this also. It makes a different project and it requires chapstick. So stay tuned and we'll make that one as well. So a lot of different ideas in one little video today. I will try to go as fast as I can. But first of all, I'm going to show you the most basic thing to do with this, this tape. First of all, you need to choose some papers. My favorites are dictionary paper. This project works best on a pulpy paper, a fibrous paper. It will work on a brand new digital printout, something like this. It will work on this, but this is a smooth paper. This is very fibrous. So if you feel your paper and it's smooth or glossy, it will work. It just doesn't work as well. It loves the fibrous paper because basically it's going to pick up that top layer of fiber. I will show you it on both so that you can decide what you want to play with. But dictionary, any type of old newspaper should work. New newspaper should work because it's fibrous. This is a piece of Japanese washi paper. That would work. There is a French fashion magazine here that I'm going to pull some images out of. That will work. Most old papers will work. Most new papers will still work, but a little different. We have onion skin paper. We have book page. We have music paper. We have some handwritten and some ledger papers back here. You can go through your scrap bin. This is a new book page that has some botanical images. I'm going to try it for the first time with you guys on that paper so that we can see about picking up some of those. Anyway, let's go ahead and get started. We're going to use this dictionary paper here. I would like to pick up this image here with the dictionary part and the flower image. That is wider than my tape, so bear with me. Jumping off right in the beginning to something a little more difficult. So I'm going to put this one down and I'm going to catch it like this. All right, let's go that way. That should work. So I put the tape down and I used the wide packing tape. I put the tape down and I've just put it over my image. I rubbed it with my fingers. I tried not to get air bubbles or crinkles. If you get air bubbles or crinkles, it doesn't matter. It's fine. This is all for vintage looking ephemera. Then you're going to take your dictionary paper, find a corner of your tape, and if you want to make a little tape hinge so that you can pick back up your tape easier, it does help a lot, as you're about ready to see. Also, if you don't stick down the edges of it, it works a lot easier too. Oh my gosh. Every time I try to do a video, it's like super easy. It's working great. And then you turn the camera on and then you get what you get. Okay, so here's my tape coming off of my paper. And we're picking up that top layer. You can see it picked up the top layer. See where it's lighter? It's picking up the top layer of the paper and the top layer of the ink. It still leaves this little lighter image on the paper. So you can still use this part to make ephemera as well. But what we got was we got this. So here's just to show you what it looks like. We got that. So we picked up the top layer of ink and paper. And now we can take this, and you see how this tore crooked? I like the torn crooked look. So when I use this, I will probably jaggedy up the edge a little bit. But anyway, this was wide packing tape. That was the first one. We're going to make a bunch of tape, and then we're going to use them to make ephemera. So that's one. Now let's use this same dictionary page and make a different. I'm going to pull the skinny transparent tape. This time I am going to make myself a little hinged. I just folded it over up there at the top, and that's going to help me pick back up my tape. And I'm going to go right down this side here and get these words. And so I'm holding on to that little hinge. You don't really have to, but I did. So there it is. If you want to use a bone folder and burnish it, you don't really have to, but you can. And I'm just going to pick up that top layer of paper. And there's what we got that time. And I know it is transparent right now, and it is glossy. I have all of that fixed. When we do the decorating, we will take off the gloss. It's super, super simple. Okay, so we have a couple pieces from the dictionary. Good. Let's go ahead and try. I'm going to try the French Fashion Magazine. Now, the French Fashion Magazine has a bunch of ads in the back, and they're kind of in rough shape. You guys know that I save all the torn, raggedy things for myself to craft with. So I'm going to try to smooth out this wrinkle in it, first of all. And I'm going to try picking up this little ad right here with the dress form in it. I'm going to use my wide tape. I'm going to fold over a little hinge, because specifically this one seems to be hard to pick back up. So I'm going to fold over a hinge. I'm going to put that down on there. I'm going to rub that on there. And then I'm going to pick it back up. Now, if you want to use bone folder, like you could use this little bone folder here, and you could do a little burnishing, and that might help you pick up more. And then we're going to use our hinge that we created, and we're going to pull gently and slowly. And it does work better on older, pulpier paper. And there's our image, and I'll show you what that looks like. And so it's just a way of picking up, like you could pick up vintage typography out of something. You could pick up full focal points off of something. If you roll through your newspaper, you're going to find a bunch of different fonts and typography that you could just pick up with tape. So maybe you go through your rummage through your recycle bin or your trash can and find things out of there that you want to pick up and use as focal points. I know there's a lady face in here, and lady faces, you know, you can fussy cut them for sure. You could just cut it out as a square, but I'm just going to take this, and I'm going to take that whole image, the whole face here, as much as we can get with a piece of tape, and we're going to pick that up. So I pulled a big piece of packing tape. It's the 2-inch wide, roughly one. I'm going to fold over a little hinge at the top. Maybe, yes. Okay, fold it. Yes, I had coffee today. Okay. And so then we're going to lay this down, and it works best if you kind of let the tape bow so that the middle of the tape touches your paper first, and then try smoothing it out. Now I did get a little crease there. You'll see what happens if we get a crease. Try to use your bone folder and get rid of that crease. Not a big deal. So I'm going to press that one on there. If we can get text with it, all the better. All right, so there's that one. There's my hinge right here. I'm going to pull up on that hinge, and we're going to go slow and just pick up whatever wants to come. There we go. And so this is our focal point for this one. And they come out beautifully. So instead of having to fussy cut her or regular cut her, and yes, she is glossy, but again, I'm going to show you how to fix that. This is a good one to show you on anyway. So let's just stick this to this paper. It's not really sticky anymore. It's not going to tear your paper. It's just stuck there temporarily. Here's what I'm using to take away the gloss, because the tapes that are going to work the best are glossy. I will show you that other Scotch tape here in a second, but this is what I'm using to take away the gloss. It's a sanding disc. They're little flat sanding discs. I've showed you this product before. It's one of my favorite products that Ranger makes. It's a little piece of sandpaper that has Velcro on the back. It goes right on your ink blending tool, and it works so good. It is far better than trying to use steel wool or regular sandpaper or whatever. So anyway, it is stuck down right here. My image is stuck down. I'm going to take my sanding disc and I'm just going to rub away that gloss. What it does is it scratches up that glossy bit on the top of your tape. It's not ruining your image. It's not ruining your tape. It's taking away the glossy bit. Your image is on the back side, and this is in no way, shape, or form going to take away any of your image. Not unless you sand all the way through your tape, which you're not going to do. So anyway, this is a very quick little one. You could work it more and less if you wanted. But notice now that there is some glossy where I didn't scratch at the top and the bottom. But for the most part, the gloss, and we can get her face again, the gloss is gone. So that kind of mattifies her. I don't know. It's great. So anyway, we're going to keep going. So there's the way to take away the gloss. Next, we are going to do, we did the French fashion magazine. I need to keep my tapes over there. No running away tapes. We're going to use music, and I'm going to show you the new paper because everyone has new paper, right? So let's find a good fibrous music. This is a good fibrous music, okay? So what if I just want to take this whole line of music right here? I'll use a long piece of tape. I will fold over a hinge. Take that tape. Let's put it right over the music. Smooth it down. You can burnish if you want. I do have a little wrinkle right there. So that's burnished to it. There's my little hinge. Pull that little hinge off and just go slow. If you're not getting enough paper, like I think we are, but if you're not getting enough, go over it and burnish it again. Slower is better. This is a great way to make your own washi tape out of anything. Like you could print a wallpaper digital and you could put the tape on it and make your own washi tape. So that's a nice little piece of music paper. I love how it's like, I don't know if you guys can see, but it's not perfect. It's kind of faded in and out. I love that look. So there's that. There's music. We're going to do maybe 2 more and then we have to get to decorating. So let's try it. Okay, maybe 3 more. Let's try it on some ledger. I have handwriting. I have too many things to do. Let's just keep going. All right, folding a hinge. And I just took a thin little piece of tape here, and I'm going to try to get, let's come down here and just get some of this scripty handwriting. And this is old. Older things do work better. Maybe you go through your scrap bin and you have some long, skinny strips of scrap, like old material. You could certainly use that. We're going to do book page because book page is the easiest and pretty much everyone has book page, right? So I didn't really get a lot off of that. We're going to go ahead and burnish it. Burnishing is literally pressing the tape glue into the paper, and it's just going to give us a little bit better of a look. It's picking up just the faintest bit of that handwriting. It picked up more at the end for some reason, but it's just got the faintest bit of scripty handwriting. And for a background or a little embellishment, that's perfect. So you can see it picked up more in the back half than it did in the front half. Totally fine. We'll still use it. Great. Off to the side. And they don't really stick to each other. So you don't have to worry about that either. Let's go ahead and let's do this one. And I'm going to show you the new tape. We're going to do one comparison. So this is the transparent one that comes like this. Scotch transparent. That's the one I'm using right now. And then we're going to use the regular household one. Let's pick up some numbers, some handwriting, and some color back there. We'll burnish both just to be fair. So there's burnishing that one. Now I'm going to pick up the regular, like, I don't know what it is. The Christmas wrapping tape. So let's use that one. This literally is what I wrap my Christmas presents with. Oh, it's going to work really well because it just pulled that off. So we're not going to cheat. We're going to do the whole thing. So I'm going to fold myself over a little handle there. And we'll stick it on the same way. It's going to work really well. So if this is the tape that you have, it will still work, and it's already matte on the top. So no need to sand. However, it doesn't come wider than this. So, you know, if you want wide. All right, so I'm going to put this on, peel this off, and you can see this one is pretty good, right? Like, it's pretty good. It pretty much picked up 1-for-1 of the paper. Let me peel this one off and we'll do comparison up close. So here's this one. This is what it left on the paper. Okay, good. There's 1-for-1 comparison. You can see the top one is your Christmas wrapping paper one, and the bottom one is the transparent. In real life, the writing is darker on the transparent one than the Christmas wrapping one. However, the Christmas wrapping one did grab quite a bit more of the paper. So I really want to show you guys up close. It grabbed quite a bit more paper underneath. So both are great. Okay, throw those off to the side. Good to know. Let's go ahead and do this brand new, I want to show you this, and I want to show you this flower paper, and then we'll be good to go and make some ephemera. So these, I'm going to need wider tape for these. We're going to do this lady right here. I don't know if I want her, the whole person or what, but we're going to get what we get. I'll try to make a really wide one. We'll see. So I'm going to fold over that hinge. That definitely helps. Let's put that on there. And we'll burnish it. I do have some wrinkles. I can see them. Okay. So the wrinkles make little cracks. And it's a different look. You might want to make it all wrinkly because then it's all crackly looking. Maybe for Halloween, that would be a great thing. So I burnished this on there pretty good. In reality, that might have been a mistake because it might stick too much. So anyway, we're going to try it. We're going to begin pulling. And it doesn't look like it's picking up too much at the moment. There it goes. So I'm going to put it back on because I would like her face. Maybe a Halloween you want the body with no face, but for me, I want the face. So I'm going to put it back on and burnish that down and hopefully try to catch her face. Nope, we're not going to get her face. See, the new paper is smoother and it's just harder to work. It just doesn't grab it all. So we got the whole bottom, but it didn't grab the face. So just play with it on a new digital, a smooth paper. Play with it and see how you get it to work. It worked perfectly on the bottom part, but it did not want to grab her face. And that's the second time I've done this and it didn't grab a face. I don't know what it is about. Maybe we need to start the tape up higher or something like that. But anyway, it can work on a new one. I'm going to do it one more time down here and just see if we can get, I'm going to do it right here, and I'm going to see if we can get this going backwards. Quickly. Will it grab it this way? See, not so much. The new paper is just different and it doesn't always work with it. You'll have to experiment with smooth paper. I don't have a lot of hope after seeing that on this, but we're going to try. So we have some herbs. There's actually a couple pages here. Let's go ahead and put some tacking tape on and we'll see what we get. These are things that I normally wouldn't fussy cut because they're very spindly. They're very spindly. So let's get this little lavender. I don't know if burnishing is helpful or hurting it, but let's just give it a little rub. And then we'll pull. Yeah, see, the new smooth paper, it doesn't like to grab. It needs the fibrous old paper, like newsprint or something to that effect. We got nothing. So probably skip the new paper. Anyway, back to what I was doing. I was making ephemera. So I have some book page, some dictionary paper. Let's grab some book page. Maybe you're making a background and you just want a quick way to grab that text back there and add it to a project. You don't want the mess of a glue stick. You guys always ask me, okay, if I'm crafting in an airplane and I can't bring glue with me, because sometimes they don't, they don't really let you bring liquid glue, but even a glue stick, sometimes they don't want you to bring. So if you are crafting somewhere that you can't bring liquid glue, this is what happens when you don't make yourself a hinge. We're going to throw this one in the trash and we're going to do another one. It has the whole paper behind it and I just want the top layer, so don't stress. Sometimes you're in an airplane and you need to make ephemera because you're on a long flight and you're bored, and maybe it's the only time you have to sit still and craft. So we made a hinge this time. We're going to grab some of that title, some book page. I don't think we need to burnish the old stuff. I think it works just fine without it. But this is a way to grab that text book page and put it into the background of your project, right like that, without having to have a liquid glue, because this still can be stuck with tape down to your project. Now let me show you the double-sided tape to further emphasize what I'm talking about. So this is one layer. You can see that the paper is still whole. It's just pulled off the top of the paper. This is rag paper, so that's what it looks like on rag paper. But to further show how you can craft in an airplane without glue, let's use a double-sided tape. So double-sided tape is sticky on both sides. We're going to pull off a piece. I am going to make a tiny little hinge up there at the top. For this one, we're going to grab this book page number and all that text going down that way. Go ahead and stick it down there. You can try rubbing it with a little tool so it doesn't stick to your fingers quite as much. Get that book page number and then pull it off. We need to burnish it. Okay, pull it off, and it barely got any. We're going to need to use a different paper, but it barely got any. The idea is if you use double-sided tape, then you'll be able to stick it back down on a project because you can flip it over. Let's try a different one, maybe something more fibrous. So far, what has worked the best, this one might work. Let's try it on this. We haven't used this for anything. This is just a piece of those French fashion magazines. They often have like text only portions. So let's just use that on there. We're going to stick that down with the bone folder if and when I find it. Let's try a different paper and see if it's the paper or the tape. Because I have used this before successfully, but yeah, that's just a different paper. So just a different paper will pull it off. And now you have it back underneath there. I don't know where my white paper went, but you have your text back underneath there, and then you can stick that straight down. Now it's going to be slightly tacky on the top part. That's where your chapstick comes in. So let me show you this quick. You're wondering why you have chapstick in the craft room, and it's actually something really good to have in the craft room for lots of things. But for getting rid of stickiness, anytime you have stickiness, like this is double-sided tape, we picked up the image, now we're going to stick it down on our project, right? It's going to stay stuck. It's actually, double-sided and it will stay on there. But this is one that I do not use on my face. This is just for craft room, and it's just for getting rid of stickiness. All you do, and any chapstick will work. This is just the brand that I buy for regular use. So we have one for actually left it in the car. It got super melty. And so there we go. It is just taking away the stickiness. So you just put a little bit of it on, and now there is no tackiness to this. How it works is the oil from the chapstick, it's basically like a grease, a wax. And it takes away all stickiness. So anytime, like if you get glue somewhere when you're making a scrapbook or a junk journal and you don't want that glue to stay sticky, you could put baby powder on it if you have baby powder. You could also use the chapstick, and it makes it where there is no sticky left on there, but it doesn't impede anything that you have done on here. Because it's a wax, it won't really make your like if you have maybe Tim Holtz pencils or something underneath, it doesn't really move them as much as other products like a water or a sticky Goo Gone remover kind of stuff will. So just try chapstick to get rid of sticky on the back side of double-sided tape. Okay, moving on to making ephemera. I think we've done all the little trials we can do. I do want to keep this onion skin paper here for one last thing. And let's go ahead and take, let's take the regular Christmas one, the Christmas wrapping paper tape, if I can pick it back up. Maybe I can't now that I have wax on my fingers. Yes, okay. So the Christmas one, I'm going to fold it over just so I can pick back up. And I'm going to pull off this signature right here. That seems like a good idea. Let's pull that signature. So there's that one. I have tape stuck everywhere now. Let's peel this off. So you could try this on napkins as well. It really just picked up the whole onion skin. I'm okay with that for right now. But you could try this on napkin and it will pick up the top layer of napkin. If you leave it attached to the bottom layers, if you pull it off the bottom layers, it's just going to do this where it tore the whole thing. But if you leave it attached to the bottom layers of napkin, it will also work. So now we have a little signature to play with. Okay, let's make ephemera. This is 26 minutes in already. We need to make some sort of ephemera. For ephemera bases, quickly, I have easy things. I'm going to use her as a focal point, and we're going to use some of the other tape to go around and embellish that. This one I need to move over here. It's still sticky. I have some cut up copy dyed cardstock in my usual sizes for pockets and journal cards and tags and things like that. These are those vintage music cards available on my Etsy. We're going to use that for a background. You could use like a copy dyed index card to make your ephemera on. And then I have some random other ephemera bits in here and some Tim Holtz cardstock. So Tim Holtz cardstock, any type of printed cardstock can be a great base. And then you can embellish over the top of it. Let's go ahead and use something kind of, let's see how she's going to look on there. Let's use something kind of plain. So let's grab a tag. So this is a 6-inch by 3.5-inch piece of cardstock. And I'm going to make her into a tag. We're going to use this for our focal point, and then we're going to use our little tape that we just made to embellish. And so you could probably sit down after you made yourself a bin of tapes, and you could make a bunch of ephemera in a very short period of time. I'm going to ink the edges of the photo. That's fine. There we go. Pick up some more ink so I don't have to come back to it. And then maybe we want to put like the ledger going down the side of it. That could be very quick ephemera. You could also use this as a hinge. You can see that I'm using the sticky ones, or the shiny ones. I don't care about it. If you cared about it, then go ahead and take the shine off. For right now, just to be quick, I'm not going to take the shine off. I'll take the shine off on a big focal point, but not the small ones. That's just my preference. Okay, so anyway, maybe you want to put some book page back there. I have a little bit of scripty book page somewhere over here. I put all of my pages over here. Let's find some book page. Okay. There's a little bit of book page. Let's put some book page back there quick. And then we're going to put the focal point and the tape to embellish. So pull out your tape. I know you all have tape somewhere. Pull out some tape. And I'm just going to stick whatever wants to stick. I don't want the whole entire thing stuck down. So I'm just going to stick some glue down there. I'm going to stick my book page on, and whatever sticks stays. What doesn't stick will peel back off. And so this is just a fast way of making a background where you don't have to glue every little bit. You're just kind of getting some glue there, and that's the squished out glue. So let's set that to the side, let that dry. Here is another piece of the French Fashion magazine. Let's use that for a background on another tag. And we're going to make a focal point with this lady's face. That looks good. And she came out of this magazine, so let's just keep using this magazine. Let's go ahead and use the numbers that are back here. And for this one, we're going to go ahead and glue the It's a little fragile. This project with the tape is a perfect way of using those fragile old pages. Sometimes, you know, you can't do this glue stick to the back of them because they'll tear. So it is a good way of using up fragile book pages. So there's that. There's that one. Okay, so I've glued the cardstock to the paper. I'm going to cut around this one because this one I glued all the way down. And so what I was saying is if you go through your scrap bin, you're probably going to find, or even maybe you're used to throwing away things like this. These are good things to stick tape to and pull off that typography that's back there and use it. So the tape will make whatever, you know, like this needs sturdied up, right? It's too fragile, like this little piece here. You can stick tape to this and you could have pulled off that typography that's back there and still been able to use it. So go through your scraps and look at them a little bit differently. But here's the base for this one. And we're going to be sticking this lady down on here and we'll do some more embellishing on that. And then this one, I'm going to see if it's dry enough. We have a lot of glue under there. But basically, if you glue your paper and you don't glue the whole entire thing, it allows you to come through and just peel off little bits and pieces. It's just a different look. It's more like old worn wallpaper where it comes off in little bits and pieces like this. And so instead of having that perfect rectangle or something where it's all the way covered, it's just a different look. So another idea is when you're gluing down your base, your background, don't glue it all the way to your cardstock. Go ahead and glue it, you know, just roughly with some glue stick, and it's just going to peel off rough. Okay, that's just a different way of doing it. All right, so we have this lady. We're going to get her put on there. We've got just a little bit of text showing here. I could move her over this way and do just a little bit of tape here. I think we're going to go like this. And then we're going to put this tape right across the bottom now. Yeah, let's do it right across the bottom there. I think that's a good way of doing that. And so let's get her glued on. So quick and easy ephemera with very little supplies. You don't really have to buy anything to make these projects. You probably already own it all. That's a bonus when we can craft with what we have. A new idea for using what we already have. We've all already spent like $1 million bazillion on supplies. So let's go ahead and use them. So there's that. She's glued on there. And then to glue on the tape, I'm just going to run glue stick. And so the way that that works is you just take it, hold it with your little hinge, run that glue stick down there. And that's all you need to do. And then you're going to put it on. Now, wherever you put it, like I'm going to position this where I've got some of the numbers and some of the handwriting. That glue is going to dry transparent. You could wrap around these pieces to the back side. I'll do it on that one. And I can do it on this one, but I do want to cut off my little hinge first. And then you have a little bit of tape wrapped around to the back side. It's just different than cutting it off. And so that will kind of get less blue here as it dries. It's kind of like faux vintage tape, but it has a little bit of pattern or texture or something to the background. So we need like a little label or something up here to finish this one off. And I'm staring at this little label that has numbers on it. So I'm going to use that one. And we're going to put, we're going to put that right up at the top. And that's going to finish off this journal card, or it can be cut into a tag. I think maybe we'll cut it to a tag. I think it will look better that way too. So we're just going to put that right there. Trying to not get it too high where I can't snip it into a tag shape. Okay, so there's that one. Let's do this a tag, and then we'll work on this other one over here with the lady. And so I'm just going to go right from that over there. Normally I'll just like freehand it, but because this one's already decorated and I'm stressing about it, I just want to, I'm going to do the putting it on the other side thing. However, I always find, see, it's just harder. It's just easier just to snip it. In the end, you get about the same size corner. It's just easier to snip it. I was thinking because it was decorated, I was like, I don't want to make a mistake and then, you know, have to throw away the whole thing or have one that's like wonky or whatever. But we did it. And so there's that one, inked, finished, good, love it. And it just added, almost all the blue is gone. It just added a little something, something different and something extra down there at the bottom. I like that. The only thing that I'm not loving is this little angle on this paper. And there we go. It's all gone now. So there's that. Okay, let's work on this lady. So we're going to ink this just to kind of give me a little bit of a frame before I start. Sometimes I wait till the end. Sometimes I need to kind of see how this is going to frame her, right? Because we have her, we've already used sandpaper to kind of mattify her. So that's what she looks like. And I do love it. And I want to get some of that text up there. That's good with everything I'm doing. We'll kind of tear this one, I think, down here at the bottom. So if you need to tear, just give yourself a little snip and kind of tear off that little corner, make it look a little jaggedy. We can kind of tear in here. We could cut it. We could tear it, whatever. There we go. So now I've got a little jaggedy edge at the bottom. Better. And then up here, I still have my hinged bit. And so I'm going to cut it and tear whatever wants to tear there. Okay, that's good. Now she fits on there. I love that. And I love how when you use the tape, you can see whatever is underneath the tape. So like the lady is here, but we're going to get some of these numbers and letters and whatever else is back there showing through her face. It's really a cool look. So let's get her on there. Do we want to put something else though? Because I kind of think we need one more layer back there. And I have a little bit of paper doily that's floating around I saw earlier today. Or you know what else we have? We have these botanical stickers. Let's use one of those. We'll put that going down one side. Let's use this little... So I printed out one of my botanical digitals from Etsy and I printed it on sticker paper. You can have your scan and cut, scan this and cut around it and it will cut them into stickers. But honestly, it's pretty easy just to rough fussy cut around them. But the good thing is they're already stickers. The other thing I've done is printed them on washi paper and then tore around them, which is normally what I do. But because we have this, let's use it. Assuming I can get it off the backing. Maybe it's coming. There we go. Now, whenever I have a sticker, I always put some additional glue back behind it because I'm just worried, you know, what if I sell my things that I make. So I want to make sure that they're made well. I'm not really going to think about this too much. I'm just going to put that back there. And I did it in the background. You could do it in the foreground too. It doesn't really matter. And now we're going to stick her back there and we're going to be able to see that flower right there underneath of her too. I kind of wish that I would have stuck it in the foreground now. Yes, I do. There we go. I'm like, I'm not going to care. Apparently I do. So we're going to put her on there and then we're going to stick that sticker on. And here's why, because I was seeing that she's awfully rectangle. Again, I think tearing the tape would be good, but she's awfully rectangle. This is a new glue stick. And so we're going to stick her on and then we're going to use that flower to kind of help break up some of that. Yeah, there it's tearing. We're going to use that flower to help break up some of those lines. You don't really see them. I've got quite a bit of glue here. Let's see if we can get some of that to come out. There we go. And then once it's out, it's on my fingers. Perfect. All right. We're going to re-glue this sticker down and then we're going to put a label and then we're going to re-ink and we'll be good to go with her. So because see the line, that line right there, I'm just not loving that line. We're going to go on this side now. Yes, we are. And we're going to go lower. Yep. Okay. I'm liking that. That's good. I probably could have inked that flower, but I do want it to blend in, so that's okay. I maybe would have inked this foredge here, but that's okay. All right, so from that one, we need a label, and we can put some of our music tape down here. Maybe we go ahead and use that across the top. I like it across the top. I think it's kind of nice at the bottom too. I don't know. Let's just use it. You could use it in both if you wanted. Let's see. Yeah, let's go ahead and use right there where we have the staff in the beginning. So let's use that. And for this one, you could wrap it around, but I'm probably not going to. So there's the music one. And again, the blue is not really going to be there here in just a minute. We're going to cut that off. So there's that. We can use the leftover bits of that one here in a minute. Okay, good. We've got the blue that will dry clear. We need a label or a postage stamp. Let's maybe do a postage stamp up here. Let's see about that. What do I have in the world of perfect postage stamps? I do have a good one. So let's do it. Let's do it. This is a antique French one. An antique French postage stamp. I know you guys have asked me for them, and I will for sure be bringing them. Okay, so there, that's glued. Need to find the lid to this. And we've done that. This little piece of tape needs trimmed off. It's sticking up and it's in the way. Okay, so what did we make today? We made 2 pieces of ephemera. We made one with wide packing tape where we've got the lady is the wide packing tape. And you could have come in to break up the edge. You could have come in and tore off a little bit or cut a little bit of that tape a little bit just to kind of break up that straight edge right there. This one will look much better once this blue is dried down here. But this one and this one were both made with packing tape. Now you could have pulled an image like this and put it with packing tape too. I just happen to have that Tim Holtz one floating around. And so this one just has the little bit of tape down at the bottom right there. And it's wrapped around slightly to the back. And this one with the music at the bottom and the lady in the front. So I'm going to re-ink this just a little. Now that I know where everything is, I can bring my ink in. I just needed to give myself a little bit of a frame to start. And now my ink is in. I'm going to ink a little bit of this. You can ink right over. If you sand it, you can ink right over that packing tape and the ink will stick to it. If you're inking over the slick, shiny packing tape, the ink really isn't going to hold. I mean, it will if it's dry, but it's harder. It will stick to the sanded packing tape. Okay, 2 little projects. Sorry for the long video, but there is a million ways that you can go in and pull images off and use them to decorate. We've got music, we've got dictionary, we've got book page, we've got some ads over here, and I just leave these in a bin. They don't really stick to each other. There's not a big deal. I could even go in with this one, and I could even put this back here on the back side of the journal card because it is a lady, a fashion lady, and there's the ad for it. So sometimes I think of this as, you know, if you have Photoshop and you're really great at using Photoshop, you can go in and you can pull out these things out of your vintage ephemera and use Photoshop to gather little bits. But if you want a simple, fast method, you could just use packing tape to go in and gather your little bits and then choose where you put them on your project. So those are the ideas for today. We didn't use this signature, which also would have been a nice one, but maybe somewhere else we'll use a signature. We could have put it down there. Gather your tape, gather your paper, stick your tape to paper, and make some fun ephemera. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you all have a great weekend. I will see you guys back here soon. Bye, guys.